On another issue, may mga consumers groups po na nagtatanong kung meron daw kayong direktiba sa mga concerned agencies regarding dun sa napipintong pagtaas sa presyo ng harina. At kung meron daw kayong pakiusap sa mga flour millers na either itigil po muna to pansamantala o in staggered basis yung pagtataas ng presyo.
To be honest, no, pinag-usapan namin more yung sugar at saka yung rice. Yung sa wheat, there is, of course, in Russia exports, I understand, substantial portion of what is available in the world market. They have suffered fires that have affected their wheat supply and droughts. No? So, I will have to talk to the department concerned, no, which is Secretary Arcla, to find out what is the status with regards to wheat. Last time namin pinag-usapan yan, I only asked about the Turkish flour. No, and whether or not it really did satisfy the requirements of being safe. And I was told that it was safe. So yun ang last discussion sa amin with regards to wheat. Yung sugar kasi ay patagal na ako hindi nag-grocery, siguro nagulat ako sa presyo ng asukal. At syempre meron tayong epekto ng El Nino. No, hindi pwedeng hindi maapektuhan yung ating both palay at saka sugar production. So we want to cushion any impact of any price increases there.
Ang next question po ay mula kay Weng de la Fuente ng Net25.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, may we know what will be your administration's policy on unliquidated cash advances? And do you support or do you favor the move of the ombudsman to suspend the salaries of those officials who have not complied with the law?
Palagi ko tingnan mo natin case-to-case basis, exactly what is unliquidated, when was it supposed to have been liquidated. You need all of the details. I cannot make a blanket statement, say, sige, withhold natin lahat ng salaries doon. What happens to everybody whose salaries are withheld? Will they be more prone to corruption? Because they will have to feed their families. Hindi naman siguro dapat blanket. Pero we will ensure that all of these items will have to be, there should be a closure on all of these items at the soonest possible time. And I'm hoping that a lot of it will be, shall we say, in the realm of the possible. Baka naman meron dyan, previously may 10 years, 15 years na unliquidated. So, in documentation lang yan, problema na. But there has to be closure on all of it. And we will actively seek closure on all of that. We will get the DBM to take a first-hand, to be the lead agency in addressing that issue.
Just a follow-up. How do you view yung mga recent actions po ni Ombudsman Gutierrez, knowing that before she was being criticized for inaction in some issues?
Well, it's a lot better than what it was before, no? MWSS, I understand, she's looking into it already. So we're hoping that she does fulfill her functions and her mandate in an expeditious manner. We are judicious to all parties concerned.
Susunod po ay mula kay Jen Kabiling ng Manila Bulletin.
Hello, Mr. President. Sir, will you issue an executive order imposing a cap on salaries of GOCC executives, or do you prefer Congress to amend the law instead?
We will issue a new EO, but there is already an existing EO. I understand this is series of 2001, roughly when GMA started, President Arroyo started, putting a cap. And unfortunately, this was not enforced. So it's only a question of enforcing the cap. But if need be, we will reiterate the same in a new EO and perhaps modify as necessary to ensure that there is compliance. In fact, one of the suggestions coming from the Secretary of Finance, amongst others, is that all those new appointments will have a waiver of various rights due members of the boards, etc. And the other directive that I did issue was to ensure that what is due government, diba parang they sit as government's representative. For instance, the San Miguel board has government representatives. Yung items should revert back to the treasury. No, hindi for personal gain, but what is due the state should be gotten by the state. So again, reiterate, there is an existing law. An old law at that, which was honored more in the breach rather than its observance, and we will ensure that it will be honored.
Sir, on another issue, sir, what are your plans for IBC 13 and RPN 9? Will you privatize them as is, as proposed by Senator Enrile, or pursue a rehabilitation first?
Well, di ba, ideally, you'd want to sell the product at the most optimum moment. For instance, you have an old car. You won't sell it if it doesn't run, if the doors don't open. You will not get a price that's suitable for it. Yung 9 and 13 own, di ba, a frequency. In effect, well, the state owns the frequency, but they have been given the franchise for it. That yung is a valuable commodity and will be even more valuable once the economy really perks up, which we expect shortly. No, you sell it at distressed prices is not the prudent course of action. Now the question is, can we afford what it will take to improve its standing? I am told that in the case of Channel 9, there have been already substantial moves to alleviate the liabilities that made it such an unattractive prospect. So we will see up to what extent we can improve the saleability of the product and maximize the returns to the state before we embark on selling it.
Ana Roa from Business World.
Sir, on the SLEX increase, since the PNCC franchise as an initial solution is still in question, what other recommendations were given by Finance Secretary Purisima in order that the government would push through the contract with the investors but spare the motorists from huge amount of increases?
The SLEX issue, I'll put it in Tagalog. Napaka-komplikado talaga ng sitwasyon yan. Yung partnership was between PNCC, the Malaysian firm, etc. No? The PNCC franchise is under question, pero in the money that should go into the partnership due PNCC still is government money. Okay. Now that it's government money, yung return on investment by the Malaysian investors, which is the core of the issue, tanong, paano babayaran? So one of the proposals is, we go back to Congress, we ask for an authority, which is an appropriation that will pay for a portion of what is due the Malaysians, thereby lessening the load, di ba? That they will have to pass on to our countrymen and to the people utilizing SLEX. Ang issue lang dito is 2007, nag-expire si franchise, yung mga terms and conditions na inalok do sa foreign entity, hindi naman natin pwede palitan na pagkatapos na nag-invest sila. Dahil talaga sinabi na rin natin sa lahat ng ibang investor, punta kayo dito, punta kayo dito, ang ganda-ganda na alok namin, pag natapos nyo gawin yung obligasyon nyo, babaguhin namin lahat ng mga terms and conditions para pabor sa amin. Para sinabi na rin natin, huwag kayong pumunta dito. Kailangan natin lahat ng investors. So, I'm still waiting, I'm still awaiting the final recommendations from the Secretary of Finance, amongst others. DTI also will be involved. Then, of course, yung Presidential Legal Counsel is also part of it. The DOJ is also part of it. And eventually, yung PLLO that we will be getting into, we will be appointing soon. No. Endpoint, yung first solution of directly utilizing PNCC's proceeds, no, to pay for it is no longer an option because yung issue of the franchise of PNCC. The money due PNCC goes to the National Treasury. Once there, you need an act of Congress to appropriate it.
Sir, after the TRO will lapse, will push through with the increase, but you will ask authority from the Congress for an appropriation to somehow...
No, we will ask Congress at this point in time, no, to come up with the necessary appropriations. Timing naman, nasa budget, to utilize yung proceeds from the PNCC portion of what is due, yung operations of SLEX, to pay for our obligations with the Malaysian firms.
Sir, how much po yung hingin ninyo? Estimate?
I'll have to refer you to the Secretary of Finance. Mahirap naman mag-guess, baka masyado malayo yung rounded off figure ko. Sorry, I have to have all of these details in my mind at the same time.
Thank you.
Si Mia Gonzalez po from Business Mirror.
Good afternoon, Mia. Philippine Airlines.
Sir, considering the problems of Philippine Airlines, do you think it's timely to adopt an open skies policy as advocated by the Tourism Secretary, and do you favor this?
During the campaigns, for instance, I was made privy to the information that Bali in Indonesia, if I remember correctly, had something like 30,000 visitors. And after they adopted an open skies policy, the figure rose to 3 million. As you know, in tourism is one of the biggest potential earners for our country. You figure on $1,000 per visitor. We have a figure of about 3 million visitors currently. There is a projection of at least 6 million in about 2 years' time. So 6 million visitors times $1,000 is really a substantial amount. There is a theory that says yung ease of travel to the Philippines greatly enhances the tourism potentials of our country. No, you don't make it that difficult for visitors to come here. Okay. Having said that, siguro with regards to the PAL issue, again, I would like to reiterate my appeal though, to both the management and labor components that they are imbued with national interest. They are the dominant carrier in the country. No, we recognize that perhaps both sides have issues. No, but at the same time, the primary issue that I will have to side with is the interest of the riding community, which is the bigger population of the country. Yeah. Now, having either a total open skies policy or parang a partial open skies policy, which was done, I understand, somewhere in the late 90s, no, is already being studied. There are already certain airlines that will make up for the slack in case, no, the flag carrier is not in a position to fulfill its obligations. So I'm appealing to both sides, no. Think of, you're thinking of the current issues, think of future issues if effectively you have failed to live up to your obligations to the people. Government will be forced, no, to adopt a policy that will have to side with the riding public, the greater population, rather than the interests of just one corporation.
So, sir, you're saying that you will likely push for the adoption of the open skies policy if the national carrier fails to sort out its own problems.
Let me put it this way, no? They will hasten the opening of our skies, no, if they proceed to disrupt a very necessary service to the country.
Sandra Aguinaldo, GMA 7.
Ayun pala.
Magandang hapon, sir. Mamaya po may oral arguments on Shanda Luisita and expected po na the DAR and Solgen will take the position they took before, which is to nullify the SDO. Pwede na po bang sabihin na yun po rin ang posisyon nyo?
Sandra, I cannot comment on something that is sub judice. I cannot even, diba, para I've been cautioned that I'm President of the Republic, my opinion carries a lot of weight around. So this is an issue that I think I will have to say nothing on until the court determines what I have to do being the Chief Executive and Executor of our laws.
May follow-up po si Norman Bordadora ng Philippine Daily Inquirer. Wala na? Okay na? Okay, ang susunod naman po ay mula kay Au Kalika ng Philippine Star.
Sir, there's this report that some allies of President Arroyo in the House of Representatives are complaining that the pork allocations for them were withdrawn by the DPWH. Do you have any knowledge about this or did you approve of this?
I'll have to inquire. No? Hindi namin napag-usapan ni Secretary Singson kahapon yan. We were talking about yung coconut primarily yesterday. Yung sa allocations, pero congressional initiatives of something like 62 billion. No? But I'll have to inquire with DBM. No? That, as you know, if I can ask you to recall the SONA, there is a 1.5 trillion budget. Of the 1.5 trillion budget, what was left to us was over 500 billion. Of the 500 billion, 313 is already committed or obligated. And bottom line nun, of the 100 billion that we think can be potential savings, there is only 74 billion that we are sure, no, can be utilized to allocate for new needs, no, for the 6 months that we have inherited of 2010. Now, yung 10 billion is substantial portion of the 100 billion. No? So, and we are trying to exercise prudence in spending given that we are trying to manage the deficit. And itong 10 billion na pork allocations are being reviewed, no, if I'm not mistaken. They are being reviewed as to necessity and urgency.